Some breaking news now coming in from Ladakh, where environmentalist Sonam Wangchuk, who was spearheading the protests in Ladakh, he was on a hunger strike. Later, we saw how violence broke out, and the Ministry of Home Affairs blamed Sonam Wangchuk for that violence, in which four people died. Now Sonam Wangchuk has been arrested. That is the big breaking news coming in. This comes days after the violence that broke out in Ladakh, in which at least 4 people were killed in police firing. This was a protest for statehood, and Sonam Wangchuk had been sitting on a hunger strike for around 14 days at the time when this protest march was taken out, and there were clashes and violence. The BJP office was also set on fire. Police vehicles were set on fire, and 4 of the people involved in that protest were killed in police firing. Already we know that the government has cancelled the FCRA license for his NGO. Sonam Wangchuk is a renowned climate activist, and now the government in its first action had cancelled the FCRA license, which involved receiving foreign funds, and they claim that he had incited the crowds, in fact, and blamed him for the violence that broke out in Ladakh, in which 4 people were killed, saying that Wangchuk had made provocative statements regarding Gen Z, regarding the recent Nepal protest that we saw led by the youth of Nepal, and this is being seen as an instigation for the violence that broke out in Ladakh recently. Now, this was an ongoing protest on Wangchuk from time to time. In fact, ever since Ladakh became a separate union territory, has been going on protests and hunger strikes demanding certain rights for the union territory. Let's go across to Aditya now for more. And Aditya, what we do know is that Sonam Wangchuk earlier was meant to hold a press conference at around 2:30. He didn't turn up for that, and now he's been arrested.
Well, yes, that's the big development we are breaking here first on NDTV, that activist Sonam Wangchuk has been arrested. This is the development that has come in just minutes ago. I can also tell you that the office of Sonam Wangchuk has told me that after 4 p.m. he will be giving an interview to NDTV. But that clearly will not happen now, because he had left his residence, and on the way he has been arrested. There's been no official statement that has been released yet by the Ladakh police or the district administration here. But clearly a big development coming in 2 to 3 days after the massive violence in Leh, in which 4 people were killed and more than 87 were injured. Now Sonam Wangchuk has been arrested. What will be the charges slapped against him? Will there be some serious charges slapped against him? We'll have to wait and watch for the official statement from the government of India, either from the MHA or from the Ladakh police. But as of now, we are being told that Sonam Wangchuk has been arrested, and he has been taken to an undisclosed location. Will he be moved out of Ladakh as well? That is also under consideration right now. But certainly a big development coming in, that Sonam Wangchuk, who was on a hunger strike, who was demanding a statehood and 6th schedule to be implemented, now has been arrested after violence, because the MHA had blamed Sonam Wangchuk for provoking a violence here in Leh. Unprecedented violence that had never ever been seen here on the streets of Ladakh. And of course, the BJP headquarters being burnt and gutted, the Ladakh Hill Development Council office also being
Aditya, stay on
burnt,
with us.
and several offices.